All right, hey, what's up, guys? Oh boy, Alan's already started. Welcome to the TD Nation Summer Kickoff Call Phase 2. I'm really excited. I know all the coaches are really excited. Those of you that have tuned in, congratulations, you're off to a good start. I just want to kind of go through nutrition, supplements, how to crush your workouts, give you guys any tips we can possibly give you to just make it through the 90 days. You know, it's like I say on every single challenge call, losing weight is 100% mental. I used to think I was somebody that just couldn't lose weight, and we just prove over and over again that anybody, any body type can do this and can get really, really fit and really in shape if you trust us and listen to the recommendations we're going to give you guys. So just a couple things about me, a couple things about my story. One thing that's going to help you guys get through this 90 days is you know, really determining why you're doing this for yourself. And you know, there can be a ton of reasons why. My reason why was my kids. I started off at 267 pounds, 35% body fat, and I knew I was overweight because my doctor had warned me that I was hypertensive and I had some cholesterol issues. But I didn't really think I was that overweight until we took a trip to Disney World. And after that trip, I saw well, what's my day one picture and my profile picture, me in the bathing suit pointing. And while we were at Disney, I couldn't keep up with my daughters. I was really tired. I wanted to just be in the hotel room after like 1 o'clock every day. So I told my wife when we were at Disney, when we get back, I've got to do something. So in came P90X. I had seen the infomercial 100 times and just never purchased it. I thought honestly it was just, you know, your typical infomercial thing, and I didn't think it would work. But I had a lot of friends that were doing it or were at least trying to do it, and you know, it seemed like listening to them talk, the nutrition was the hardest part. They were trying to follow the P90X nutrition guide, and it was really difficult. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this P90X thing and see if it really works. And I'm going to start a little blog and just kind of post my journey. This was before challenge groups. This was before I even knew what Beachbody was or what Beachbody coaching was. I had no idea. And you know, I had pains in my feet, my back, constant migraines. So you know, I just got the program, started doing it. After the first 30 days, I had dropped, I think, like 10 pounds, and I had you can actually see, I have a post in the files section, which I'm going to explain to you guys how to find. But I have a post in there my very first blog post, and it's kind of funny to read because you can see me thinking about, like, I didn't even want to post my day one photos, and I wasn't going to because I was really embarrassed by them. But after the first month of doing P90X, I was so shocked by my 30-day results that I started posting my pictures. And my pictures are actually kind of what kept me going, and just posting them to everybody kind of kept me going, kind of kept me motivated to just go at it as hard as I could for the next 30 days before I had to post my next pictures. So I highly encourage you guys to take your pictures. I know a lot of you are in a place where, you know, that's not something you're looking forward to, but do it. You don't have to share them with anybody, but at least for yourself, take some pictures, because I promise you in 90 days, if you follow our advice, you're not going to recognize yourself. So, you know, I started doing the nutrition, and 30 days into my transformation, I started Shakeology. And then, you know, the weight really started flying off. At the end of 90 days, I can't remember my exact stats right offhand, but I had lost a significant amount of weight, and so I decided to do another round and another round. And after a year, my profile picture is my before and after picture. And that's when Beachbody contacted me and asked me to do the P90X infomercial. That's when you know, Men's Fitness Magazine contacted me and ran a success story article on me, which was really cool. And through that whole time, you know, I started just helping people. Everybody was wanting to know what I was doing as far as nutrition. And honestly, we don't really follow the P90X nutrition guide, and I'm going to explain that in a little bit. But everybody's wanting to know what I do as far as nutrition goes, what supplements I was taking, how I lost all this weight, how did I stay motivated. And, you know, one of the things, again, that kept me motivated was my day one pictures and posting, you know, to the world, basically. And then the biggest thing that kept me going was just my why, which was getting healthy and fit for my wife and kids, because the road I was going down was a bad road. It's a road that most Americans are on. I'm getting a call. It's the road most Americans are on, and it's really pretty scary because a lot of people feel lost. A lot of people feel like there's no way they can overcome eating bad, overcome all the temptations, especially when your friends and family aren't on the same path that you're on. I mean, quite honestly, all the guys and girls that you see down on the bottom, those guys are different than most people. Those guys have drive like a lot of people may not have, and we really hope to inspire you guys to have the same kind of drive. But you're going to have to stick with us and trust us, really trust us. All these people down there had amazing transformations because they trusted me and followed my nutrition plan and just plugged into the groups. So I do want to take a minute and just thank all the coaches that are on the call. We've got Alan, who Alan had amazing transformation. How much weight did you lose, Alan? You froze. Oh, you muted yourself. I can't ever remember.
Yeah, 64 pounds. 64.
64, and then you won the Daily Beachbody Challenge, $500, right?
So far.
Yeah, and so far, that's right, because I think you're definitely going to be a $1,000 winner and possibly more, I hope. That'd be awesome. Then we got Chris next, and Chris, you know, Chris wasn't real big to start off with, but he's just getting shredded, and now he's doing Body Beast with us, and just an awesome coach. So thank you, Chris. And then we've got Kim and Greg, and Kim and Greg have lost over 100 pounds together. What's the total at now, guys?
I've lost 105. Kim's at?
I'm at like 78.
78.
So we're at like we're at almost 185 together, or over that.
That's so insane. It's just crazy. And you know, Greg, they're awesome coaches as well. You guys can obviously hit any of us up with questions, but obviously they know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about because they've walked the walk and literally walked the walk, right? And you lost a lot of your weight walking to begin with. And then we got Larry next. What's up, Larry? And his wife Lindsay's back there. Larry also had an awesome transformation, but he's my guy I go to with a lot of supplement questions, and because he's just smarter than I am. And then we got Mark. Mark, how much did you lose? You had a great
54 pounds.
How much?
54 pounds.
54, and you were one of our challenge winners.
I was for the
yeah.
Prepare for Glory 3 group. Yep.
Yep. Awesome, man. Then we got Steve, and Steve, how much did you lose?
A little over 80.
80. Awesome, man. And yeah, so all these guys can help you. You know, we've got a lot more coaches in the group that you can lean on. But I'm sure all of them are going to tell you one of the biggest things you can do is stay plugged in and form relationships. That's the biggest thing about these groups, is forming relationships, because yeah, it's great. Some of us have aspirations of getting ripped, and it's great to lose a bunch of weight and get healthy. But you're all gonna have hard times, and if you don't have a support group and you don't have like-minded people around you, when you have those hard times, it's going to be very easy to slip into your old habits. You know, I told a story the other night on a call where I had went through my weight loss, and I was called to film for the P90X infomercial, and my maintenance level of calories was like 2,200, and I dropped my calories a lot. And we're going to go into this a little bit later in the call too. When I dropped my calories, my metabolism slowed down, and I started putting on a lot of weight. And it was really frustrating for me and really hard. And some of the guys that I formed relationships with in the first Beachbody Challenge group ever, those guys are still my best friends. We vacation with our families together, and they really helped me figure out what was going on, because you know, I may not be the smartest guy, but I'm smart enough to know that I don't know it all, and that I need people to help me get through, you know, hard times, because we're all going to have them. So if you guys don't develop relationships in this group, you're going to miss the whole point of this, because you might have a really, really good transformation in 90 days. You might just kill it and get really thin or really ripped. And then, you know, if you haven't developed any relationships, it's going to be really easy for you to slip back in old habits, and you don't have anybody to talk to. You know, obviously you can reach out to any of us coaches, but I really encourage you guys to form relationships. It's the most important thing that you're going to get out of these groups. All right, so let's see. Let's just get into it. Keys for success. First one I already talked about. I've done this call so much I just kind of go into my keys by accident. Surround yourself with a support group. You guys are already in this group, so you know, thank your coach for inviting you. We're not here to sell you guys products. We all use Beachbody products. All the coaches do, and a lot of us lost our weight and had our transformations using them, and we believe in them 110%. So if you guys need tools, we have tools we can recommend for you guys, but we are not here to sell you Beachbody products. You know, I don't look at this as a Beachbody group. I look at this as our own fitness family separate from Beachbody, and we will help you guys with anything regardless of what program you're doing, what shakes you're drinking, doesn't matter. I think we're different than Beachbody, but luckily, Beachbody provides us with the most incredible catalog of products ever, and that's why we believe in it, and we all used it, and we all know they work. So, so if you ask us questions about what products to use, that's probably what we're going to do, but we're not going to bother you and call you and try to get you to buy stuff. That's not what we're about. Stay plugged into the groups. We have so many ways for you guys to stay plugged into the groups now. 3 years or 2.5 years ago, however long we started doing these, you know, they started with 5-10 people, and now, as you guys can see, we're almost at 500 starting off. But when the challenge is over, I'm sure we'll be over 600 like we were the last group. And we've worked really hard to kind of make everybody happy. It's really hard to make everybody happy, but believe it or not, the coaches, we do calls and we try to develop systems that are going to make everybody happy. Some people are really competitive, some people aren't competitive, so we have groups for each of those people. Some people love big groups. Some people feel lost in big groups. So we have little small groups for you. We've really tried to think of everything, and every single challenge group. Our coaches are so awesome. They just get better and better at coming up with new ideas. We were even talking about ideas today to help you guys. So stay plugged in. So file section. I'm going to explain to you guys all what the file section is. Below the banner pick to the right, you'll see photos and you'll see files. There's a little tab that says files. If you click on that, there is tons of information in there, including small group signups, which will start up probably this weekend. There's lots of helpful blogs. There's things on how to use MyFitnessPal, which is a food tracking website. It's a free website. There's just lots of good resources and information in there for you. If you're on your phone, all you need to do is just click on the title, you know, TD Nation Summer Slim Down Challenge, and it'll open up another menu, and you'll see where you can click on photos or files or members and all that stuff. So that's how you access the file section if you're on your phone or a portable device. But really, go in there and make sure you look at all that. The third thing I will say is write your goals down and make them scary. Don't write safe goals down. When I started, my goal was to I wrote down a goal of getting to 215 pounds, and I flew by that and got down to 192. So yeah, 215 was kind of safe. You know, I thought that if I put my mind to it, I could get to 215. If I would have put 192 on there, that would have been a scary goal, and I wouldn't have thought I could get there. When I went past 215, the next thing I did was I actually wrote my first scary goal, which was make a P90X infomercial. And I think I actually posted on Facebook. I have to look and see if I can find that post. But I had a lot of people laugh, and I understood it because it was funny, right? It was scary. It was kind of stupid and ridiculous, but it was something that I thought would push me. And then I got a call to actually film for the P90X infomercial. So that was really, really cool. I consider that reaching my goal. Probably a month and a half ago, Alan sent me a message, and you know, all my teammates are always wanting to challenge me, and I guess it's a way to keep themselves motivated. But Alan's like, let's see who can get to 6% body fat. I said, I'm fine where I'm at. I don't need to get to 6% body fat. I don't really have the drive to do that anymore. And then I was at Summit, and some of my friends did the Beachbody Classic, and we were talking, and I kind of started getting inspired by that, not because I want to be on stage with my shirt off, because believe me, I don't. It's actually a goal that really, really scares me, because I was so heavy that I don't have a great midsection. I really don't think there's any way possible that I could place in the top 10 of this thing. But what I do think is possible is that I can get in the best shape of my life and inspire people who are maybe thinking about having gastric bypass surgery or skin removal, just to show them you don't need to do that. You know, you can do things naturally, and if you put your mind to it, you can be the best version of yourself. And I actually posted about that in our group too. It's not about, you know, looking like somebody. You know, we actually did a call, and one of the guys on the call said, you know, grab a picture and put it up and go towards being like that person. And I don't agree with that. I really don't. I don't think you should try to be like anybody. I think you should just be the best version of yourself. Whatever that is, it is. You know, we all have different genetics. We all, you know, can't have real thick abs. We all can't have big arms. Some of us have skinny legs, and you're never going to get by that. It's just a genetic thing. So I think you guys really just need to focus on being the best version of yourself, whatever that is. So my big scary goal was to enter this physique competition in a year. And I fought with it, and I thought, I don't know if I should post this on Facebook. I know how some of my friends are going to take it. I know my mom's going to freak out because she doesn't want me to gain any more muscle. I know my wife's going to freak out because she doesn't want me to gain any more muscle. So I kept thinking about it, and I thought, you know, I'm always telling my team to post big, scary goals, so I'm going to. So I posted this big, scary goal. went and trained a client, came back, and had 48 private messages from people all over saying how awesome it was and how they wanted to join if they could. So anyway, we started this other big challenge group. But you just never know by posting a scary goal who you're going to inspire. It's my point. So don't be afraid to post it. It'll actually help keep you accountable, and you never know where it's going to lead. And you know, if you have a target in mind, at least you have something to aim for, and you're going to drive towards it, and you're going to do everything you can to get to it. So post big, scary goals. Number 4, track your food. We're going to go over this, but this is a big, scary one for people just starting off. Tracking your food. I know it's monotonous, it's scary, it seems like a big job at first, but if you guys don't track your food, you have no idea what you're doing every day, and we can't make adjustments to where you're at, and that's the bottom line. If you guys really want to succeed at this challenge and really have good results in 90 days, if you're serious about this, track your food. Because the first time you guys send us a question saying, I'm not losing weight, what's going on, we're going to say, what's your diet look like? And if you don't have it written down, we can't help you. So, you know, just saying, oh, my average day looks like oatmeal in the morning, chicken at lunch, and turkey at dinner with broccoli. No, we need you to track it, because there's so much stuff you're probably missing. And then not only track it, but weigh it, because there's a big difference between 6 ounces of chicken and 10 ounces of chicken. So get a scale. It's like, you know, $14, $20 at Walmart. Get a food scale and start weighing out your portions. After you do that for a while, you're going to be able to adapt and kind of have a better idea of what 10 ounces looks like, as opposed to now track your food. Number 5, no excuses. So if I just told you to track your food and you said to yourself, screw Lance, I'm not going to track my food, come on, track your food. I don't know what else to tell you. Track your food. It gives me an excuse as far as I don't have time, I have a job, I have kids, blah, blah, blah. Every coach you see down there, well, almost every coach you see down there has a full-time job and has kids. I had a full-time job working probably 50 hours a week. A lot of times I was traveling for catastrophe duty. I had 2 kids. I had a team of a lot of coaches and a lot of team members. I'm talking like over 1,000 when I was still in insurance. And I did all of it. I got up before work. I did my workout. I went to work, got home, hung out with the wife and kids. When they went to bed, I worked on Beachbody stuff. So, you know, I know that you have time. It's just a matter of, is it important to you? And if it's important to you, you're going to do it. So make it a priority.
Can I throw in there?
Yeah, absolutely.
So here's how important tracking your food is. When I first started losing weight, I just kind of, well, I'll just eat better. I'll quit going out quite as much. And, you know, I didn't know about tracking my food at this point because I didn't have a coach yet. And in 4 months of doing a full round of insanity and 2 months of P90X, I lost a total of 17 pounds, which isn't bad, but I was kind of getting frustrated. I hooked up with Lance. You know, he gave me the tough love spiel about track your food, and I started doing that, hitting my macro and calorie goals every day, and in the next 4 months, I lost 40 pounds.
Yeah.
So it matters.
It does matter. Yeah. And guys, even, you know, and I know there's probably some veteran coaches that do this too. I still go through stints where I don't track my food. And I can promise you, when I don't track my food, I don't have as good of results as when I track my food. We just started a new group trying to get ready for this physique competition in a year, and I started tracking my food again. And it's just crazy how much you don't realize. So even veteran people, you need to go back and track their food for a little bit. And if you're really working towards a goal, you need to be tracking it the whole time. And you know, once you get used to it, it's not hard. You know, you have MyFitnessPal. I know we've got some coaches that have. Alan, how many days have you tracked in a row now? Are you still on your streak?
Yep, 410.
410 days he's tracked his food. That's crazy.
And I was mad too because I had like 150 and apparently I missed a day.
Yeah, and I mean that just goes to show you why he is a Beachbody Challenge winner and why he's won $500 because he tracked his food. When I won the $1,000 Beachbody Challenge, I was tracking my food. So, you know, it will really help you guys, and you'll be amazed when I give you your macronutrient ranges in a minute. So your proteins, fats, and carbs. You guys are probably, what happens with most of my clients is their protein and their carb numbers are flipped. So they'll be at, you know, they might be at 60% carbs and 20% protein and 20% fat, and we've got to switch those numbers around. So it's really important for you to track your food. I think I can't make that any clearer. So, all right, one thing before I get into nutrition and all that, you know, I'm a certified personal trainer, and I'm on the P90X Pro team and all that stuff. But what I want to tell you guys is I'm not a nutritionist. So any nutrition advice that we give you, you guys need to check with your doctor and make sure it's okay. Make sure they agree. Especially if you have health problems, make sure they agree. All I'm telling you guys is the same thing we've told every challenge group before you guys. We're just giving you recommendations as to what's worked for us. And every person is different. That's what you guys need to understand. So what works for me may not work for you guys. What works for Alan may not work for you guys. You guys need to try, you know, experiment a little bit. We're going to give you a baseline to tell you guys where to start. And then you're just going to have to experiment a little bit. I mean, it's taken me, you know, 3.5 years to know what my body really performs well at and what it doesn't. So let's get into nutrition. So nutrition, you know, one of the things I like to say is, I heard Tony Horton say it, is, you know, a lot of things, like I eat 8 cups of vegetables every day. Do I like vegetables? No, I hate vegetables. Seriously, I hate vegetables. But it's like food reps. It's like the reps with your weights, right? I know they're good for me. I know I need the fiber. I know I need the nutrients. My body reacts really well when I get a lot of carbs from vegetables. So I eat a lot of them. So 8 cups a day is what I've been doing. And no, I don't enjoy it, but I get it done. So do your food reps. Some of this stuff you're not going to like, just get it down. What? Somebody have something to say? No? Okay. Sorry, I thought I heard something. So one of the biggest tips I'm going to give you guys, and there is some debate on this, but this is what I did when I lost all my weight. This is what most of our coaches have done when we lost all the weight, is try to eat the most foods. Try to eat foods with 1 ingredient. So, you know, broccoli has broccoli, salmon has salmon, Doritos have 47 ingredients. Don't eat Doritos. You know, since we started this, I used to be like, no processed foods whatsoever. And you guys will probably notice that most of your processed foods are going to have a lot of sodium. So that's one of the reasons why we stay away from processed foods. Try to go with foods with 1 ingredient. But you know, as I've become a more if it fits your macros kind of guy, I have been able to fit some things in my diet that I want that are processed. But the more foods you do with 1 ingredient, the better. Another one we've talked about is tapering your carbs throughout the day. So most of your carbs early on in the day, as the day goes on, it's great if you can taper those, even at like, you know, after dinner, so after 5, 6 o'clock, try to cut out carbs. That's what I did. I know that's what a lot of our coaches did, and that seems to work pretty well. There's some studies that show either way on that, but it's worked for all of us, so we're just going to keep recommending it if you want to. Now, you might be somebody that can eat carbs late at night and be fine, and if that's the case, you're still losing weight and you're eating carbs after dinner, then fantastic. Go ahead and eat carbs after dinner. It's nothing wrong with that. Tracking calories, we already said that. There's a free website, www.myfitnesspal.com. There's also lots of other ones. We don't care which one you use. Most of us are on MyFitnessPal, so there's a document with usernames, and you can friend us and see what we're eating every day. That'll help you guys plan out your meals. So most of you guys are going to be on what's called a fat shredder diet. So you're going to be on, high protein, a little less carbs. And for those of you that are on fat shredder, for those of you trying to lose body fat, you're going to have to limit your sugar. And that means to hit our macros, to hit the number of carbs we're telling you to hit, you're probably going to have to limit yourself to like 1 piece of fruit a day. No alcohol if you can avoid it. And yeah, I'm not even going to go over the other one. Did you guys have anything else to say about nutrition? Anybody have any tips or anything they want to talk about on nutrition?
The thing with what Lance was saying about more if it fits your macros, I mean, that's where I am at this point also. Mostly, there's no bad food. It's just with purpose that it will get you towards your goals, and it will also serving of ice cream make you gain weight immediately. No, it just makes it hard to get into your calorie and especially your macro goals. Which the more you stick to your goals, the better your results are going to be. So if you want some ice cream or something like that, do what I do and know you're going to do that ahead of time. Log it into your food diary like the night before so you know it's coming, and then build the rest of your day around it. And you can still hit your calories, and you can probably still hit your macros as long as you don't overdo it. And you'll be just fine at that point. And that's a great way to keep from feeling deprived, and then, oh my gosh, you freak out, and then you overindulge, and you eat a carton. So allowing yourself those treats along the way in a controlled manner, good thing.
Yep. Yeah, and I totally agree. And that's it's funny just how my thoughts have evolved since we started this years ago. Because I used to be a don't cheat, never cheat, blah blah blah. But you know what I did? I binged eat a lot. I mean, if I deprived myself of a lot of good foods, I'd go great for 90 days, and then after 90 days, man, I'd stuff my pie hole. I'd fall off the wagon hard. So, and I did that several times. So, I've changed my philosophy on foods, especially seeing that I've been able to lose weight and cut a lot of weight by eating whatever I wanted, as long as it fit in my calorie goals and it fit in my macros. And like Alan said, a perfect example is this. Before we went to Las Vegas, I was down back to 206. So, and the whole time I was losing weight before Las Vegas this summer, every Friday, and I don't advise this unless you can really be good about it, but every Friday, my girls wanted to go to TCBY, so we went there. And I just fit that in my macros. I knew we were going there on Friday night, so I ate less carbs throughout the day, and just fit it in my calories and fit it in my macros. So when I opened up my FitnessPal, that's the first thing I plugged in was I knew we were going there, and I knew what I was having, so that went in. Then I could see how much calories I had left, how many grams of protein, how much carbs, how much fat, and I try to plug in my food for the rest of the day to make that work. And then I didn't ever feel deprived, and it's actually worked really well. And I've got a buddy that competed in the Beachbody Classic last year, got down to 5% body fat, and did the same thing. And he was never deprived of food. But there's a lot that goes into that, metabolism, how overweight you are. There's a lot of things that go into it. So you just have to be careful. And one of the other things that we talk about all the time is sugar addiction. And sometimes, for some people, and this was part of my problem too, if I had some sugar, something switched on my brain, and I couldn't stop eating it. And maybe that's partly because I had deprived myself for so long and ate so perfect. So, I don't have a black and white answer for you. There's a lot of gray areas. You're just going to have to kind of figure out what works best for you guys. and talk to the coaches and ask them their opinion. Everybody's got different stories. Everybody's came from different places. That's what makes this team so awesome. Is we have so many different. I don't know if points of view is the right word, but so many different experiences to help you guys. Anybody else have anything on that?
Yeah, I just say like going with nutrition and like, for instance, you know, on Friday nights you can go and have ice cream. I can do that with certain foods and go Friday, have it, and I'm fine, and I don't think about it anymore. But if we were to have Friday jelly bean night, I could not stop eating them. I would eat bags of them. So I'm like definitely the type of person that like thinks that people have trigger foods, and so I don't eat jelly beans anymore. And I'm miserable around Easter. So don't come around me Easter. There's jelly beans everywhere, and it drives me crazy. But being serious though, I think there are certain things that like I just have to stay away from now. Soda was the same way. I haven't had a soda in 2 years, maybe even three years. Because if I have one, I'll have a case, and that's just how it is. And I don't miss it anymore. Like, you know, I can go. I mean, we were at 4th of July. Everybody's drinking soda and beer and whatnot, and you know, I'm good with water or whatever. So it's just kind of getting away from it, and then I really think your taste buds change. You know, with your exercising and just getting in these different habits, you just kind of turn into a different person, and those things that were such a huge part of your life, you realize they weren't that big of a deal to you anymore. So be mindful of those foods that you just can't stop if you do have them. But I can eat ice cream and things like that, and I have it, and I don't think about it anymore. It's just like, okay, you know, I made it work for my calories and macros that day, and I can move on. But there are definitely those foods that I would want it the next day if I had it on Friday. Yeah, and it would drive me crazy. So.
Yeah, and I think the whole thing with food is I think some people definitely do have trigger foods. I know I do. If you can avoid those, great. If you want to, you know, treat yourself every once in a while, that's fine. You just have to be able to do it at your body's ability to process it. And we say that all the time too. A lot of people are just eating sweets and snacks, but you're eating at a rate your body can't process it. I've been able to really start doing that, where I can limit myself and just have a little bit of things, and it never affect me. You know, if I go up a little bit on carbs, the day or two after, I might gain a pound or two from water retention from the carbs, but then after that, it goes right back to where it was, and it's no big deal. So I think you just have to eat at your body's ability to process it, and that's the thing. You know, when I was 267 pounds, I was having ice cream every night. I was having Oreos every night after dinner. Just ridiculous. You just don't need that stuff all the time. If you want it every once in a while, fine. Expect, you know, you're gonna retain a little bit of water, and then, you know, it's gonna set you back a couple days, and then you'll be right back where you were.
Leon,
Oh, go ahead.
I also want to mention that there are healthier alternatives as well. My famous black bean brownie recipe. There are healthy things that you can have that can take care of those cravings, and that's another great option. If you really feel like you need something, try and find something that's healthier, and that's a great option as well. Yeah,
good point. Yep, absolutely.
Hey, Lane, one more thing too.
Yep.
You touched on a little bit with alcohol, and I think I saw a post in the group about alcohol too. I have, for like 2 months now, I've been wanting to write a blog about ethanol and what goes on with the body, and how it disrupts weight loss. Without getting into it too deeply, basically, when you drink alcohol, the ethanol needed to get like the recreational effects, it takes a lot. Like, in comparison, say like you take a Tylenol or an over-the-counter medicine, that's like 100 to 500 milligrams. With ethanol, you're talking 10 to 20 grams. So you're talking like multiples higher. So what goes on is your liver uses that as a toxin. And so all those liver functions that it's trying to do when it's, converting fat and burning carbs and storing fat and doing all those processes, all those things shut down, and it literally just focuses on getting the ethanol out of your system. So that's kind of the down point to drinking. I'm personally not a big drinker. I never have been. But, I understand that, people like to do it socially. So just be aware that that's kind of the down point to that, and what your body has to go through to get it out of the system. And it's usually going to take, it's going to take, depending on how many drinks you have, it's going to take probably 24 hours to work that out of your system. So, and I know even the 21-day fix, they say, oh, you can have wine. And that's great. You're not getting a lot of calories, and you're not getting a lot of carbs, really. You're going to get some carbs from the grapes and wine, but beers and vodkas and things like that, they really don't have a lot of carbs or fat or protein for that matter. It's just that your liver function literally gets taken over to get rid of the ethanol. So that's kind of just a short view on that.
It's just wasted calories, too.
Yeah. So,
but
you're not getting any. The reason why you see alcoholics and a lot of them are skinny, because they're not getting any substance out of it. It's calories, but they're not getting enough protein. They're really not getting any carbs or fat. Their muscles aren't getting what they need to sustain themselves.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, write that blog, please, because we get that question all the time.
Yeah, it's been on my to-do list for like 2 months.
That'd be huge.
I actually got a bunch of blogs that are all right here, and it's just from being at Summit and just kind of the excitement of getting this new group going. It's like you just kind of get taken over and
I know.
Divide up your time. So yeah, But hopefully that kind of, did you guys understand that? Was it?
No, yeah. No, I'd love to see that blog, because I know there's a lot of people that ask about that. So good stuff.
Yeah, I just know that somebody posted about it today. So
okay, cool.
It's just literally, just the ethanol takes over your liver for a while.
Yeah.
Your liver wants to get it out. So.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to get to your nutrition plan in just a minute. First thing, I'm going to go over supplements, because everybody wants to know about supplements. So the one thing I can tell you guys is that, a lot of us, our supplement philosophies are pretty much the same. And that I can tell you guys all of my supplements I'm done taking as soon as I work out in the morning. I'm done with my supplements for the day. Everybody always wants to know what I take. So I'll go through each one of or each one of them. Whey protein is one, because I want to, definitely when I'm at a calorie deficit, I need to get my protein numbers up, and so I supplement with whey protein. Although, I really consider that food. So whey protein is the best, really fast absorbing. If you go and look for proteins in the store, you're going to see a ton of different proteins. Any whey protein is fine. Next, I do Shakeology. Again, I don't really consider that a supplement because it's whole foods, but most of us do Shakeology. A lot of people want to know is, what protein shake can I substitute Shakeology for because of the cost of Shakeology? And my answer to that is Shakeology isn't a protein shake. It's whole foods. It's 70 whole foods. It's got probiotics, prebiotics, phytonutrients, adaptogens, fiber. It does have protein. It's got everything you need, but it's like, I can't get everything I need in my daily diet from chicken and broccoli and, just the regular foods I eat every day. I just can't get all the nutrients and vitamins that my body needs. And Shakeology does that for me. It just fills in the gaps. It's the easiest way I can explain it. So You know, I started taking Shakeology a month into my transformation, and I was at a calorie deficit because I was trying to lose weight. So I substituted it for my meals, and I had one for lunch. So instead of going out to lunch and spending, you know, $7-10 at McDonald's, I had a shake that was $4. So and I stopped taking my multivitamins, which also helped with the cost. So I didn't really see it as something that was more expensive. I just substituted it. Now I take it as you know, just a snack during the day because I'm not trying to be at such a big calorie deficit. So you can use it either way. And I add protein to it. And it's you know, I know a lot of people swear it gives them more energy. For me, it helped with sugar cravings because, like I said earlier, you know, if I didn't have sugar after dinner, I felt like I had to run to the gas station or something to get some kind of candy bar because I just craved sugar so bad. Shakeology helped me with that. My wife used to, and she's probably going to kill me for saying this I already started, so I can't back out. She had IBS really bad. So, but Shakeology, when she started drinking Shakeology, she no longer has irritable bowel syndrome. So if I run out of Shakeology, she gets really ticked off at me because bad things are going to happen. So we have Shakeology all the time now because she says it's gone, and that's the only thing that's ever helped her with that. So, so then the only other supplement I take is creatine. And a lot of people are worried creatine is going to make you gain weight, but I lost all 75 pounds while taking creatine. You know, everything I know about creatine, everybody wants to know when's the best time to take it. It doesn't matter when you take it as long as it's in your system, so I just take 5 grams a day. I actually take it after my workout, and I have another supplement. I take P90X Results in Recovery now also right after my workout. So I have that with my creatine. But you need some kind of good carbs right after your workout as well as protein. So so P90X Results in Recovery just has the perfect 4 carbs to 1 protein ratio, and it's got trace amounts of creatine, but nothing significant. So those are the only supplements I take. So I work out in the morning. Once I'm done working out in the morning and I take my Results in Recovery and my creatine, I'm done taking supplements for the rest of the day. The rest of my day is whole foods. So I don't know, anybody else do anything different? Is that any of you guys take anything different? Pretty much the same?
Suma,
yeah. There's a Beachbody supplement called Suma for, you know, actually I don't know a whole lot about it. I know it's, you know, supposed to be a testosterone booster or something, but I don't think anything really, I don't want to get into all the testosterone stuff, but it does more than just that, apparently. I don't know. I haven't done a whole lot of research on it, so.
it's more for mass gaining, if that's your...
Yeah, I know, but one of the Beachbody trainers on was talking about it for women too, and all the effects it had, all the good things it does for women. So I don't really know though, to be honest. Anyway, I can find, there's a video where one of the Beachbody trainers is talking about Suma and all the benefits. I can find it and post it for you guys if you're curious about it.
Lindsay watched the Beast thing you guys did, and I ordered her some, so she's gonna be a guinea pig.
Yeah, I ordered some too. So I'm going to be a guinea pig too.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'll have to let me know what you guys think of it.
She will do that.
All right, cool. All right, so nutrition plan. All right. Here's the thing about nutrition. You're going to be in one of 2 categories. You're going to be a person that eats a lot and is gaining weight, or you're going to be somebody who eats like a rabbit and can't lose weight, okay? One of those people is going to have an easy road, and one of those isn't, all right? And we have ways to help both of you. So the first type of person eats a lot and is just gaining weight. So by a lot, I mean, you know, you're at the 3,000 calories a day. You're just eating fast food. You're doing whatever you want to do, and you're just gaining weight. For those people, if you're a woman, you need to start off. We're going to just give you a baseline. You're going to start at this point, since we don't know what your daily calories are like and your daily nutrition. We're going to give you these numbers, and you're going to try them out for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, you need to let your coach know how you did. Did you hit those calories every day? Did you hit the macros every day? Did you lose weight or gain weight at that baseline? And then we can help you develop a plan from there. But we've got to establish your baseline because everybody's metabolism is different. So, I might gain weight at 2,400 calories. Some people don't gain weight eating 3,000 calories, and they're the same size as me. So, for women, we want you to start off at 1,600 calories a day. 1,600 to 1,800. I don't know. What are you guys okay with that? 1,600?
Yeah. That's usually where I tell people to start off.
Yeah. So let's start at 1,600, and you're going to do 200 grams of protein, and you're going to try to get there. So that's 50% of your diet's going to be protein. That's going to be a hard number to hit. If you don't hit it, don't freak out. It's not a big deal. If you hit 40%, you're okay. Probably even if you hit 35%, you're okay. You're going to get 120 grams of carbs a day. Hopefully you all are writing this down. And 36 grams of fat per day. So that's going to be your target. You're going to stay there for 2 weeks. You're going to weigh yourself. You're going to take your measurements. It's really important to take your measurements, not just weigh yourself. So measure around your stomach at your belly button. Measure around the biggest part of your hips. Measure your chest. Measure your arms. Measure your thighs. What I do for my thighs is I start. I put the measuring tape at the middle of my kneecap, and I go 7 inches up, and then I go around to make sure I'm measuring at the same spot on my leg. So you're going to measure all those places. You can do around your neck too, because we have this amazing phenomenon where people develop necks when they start losing weight. They just magically appear. So you guys are going to measure and weigh yourself, and then you're going to go to 1,600 calories, and you're going to stay there for 2 weeks. In fact, you can just throw away the scale for 2 weeks. Don't even get on it. Just stay there for 2 weeks and figure out, just work on hitting your calories and your macros. And then in 2 weeks, get on the scale, remeasure yourself, figure out how you did, and let us know. And based on what you tell us, we're going to adjust your calories. So, if you're losing 1 to 2 pounds a week, perfect. That's fantastic. If you're dropping 8 pounds a week, you're not eating 1,600 calories a day. You're probably eating like 800, and that's not good. Because what's going to happen is, what happened to me when you drop your calories, this is the best way I can describe it. You got calories, metabolism. I drop my calories, my metabolism slows down. I hit a plateau, I stop losing weight, I get frustrated, I go back to eating where I was, and my maintenance level is no longer where it used to be. So now my calories go back up, but my metabolism's down here, and what used to be my maintenance level is now is no longer a maintenance level, and now I'm gaining weight at what I used to maintain at, and that's bad. So we want to avoid that, and that's why you'll see a lot. So this happens with women especially. They'll eat 600-800 calories a day, and they have no energy, they feel horrible, they start losing a lot of weight because they go on some stupid diet that puts them at 800 calories a day, and they lose a lot of weight, and they're bragging to all their friends, oh, I lost 10 pounds this week, this diet's the best thing ever, and then all of a sudden you don't hear or see them posting anymore, and it's because they plateaued, and they got mad or frustrated, and they went back to eating like they were. And then, 3 months down the road, they tell you, oh, yeah, I did that diet. It worked for a little bit, but I gained back more weight than when I started. It's because they completely crashed their metabolism. And it happens over and over. It's a vicious cycle, and we want to help you guys avoid that. So we want you guys to lose weight at a healthy rate. We don't want you dropping 8 to 10 pounds a week. That's not good. So that's where you are for women. For men, men are going to be at 2,200 calories. and you're going to try to get 50% protein. Again, that's a lot of protein. It's 275 grams of protein. That's a lot, but do your best. If you're at 40, 40, 20, that's okay. 165 grams of carbs and 49 grams of fat. And MyFitnessPal will track all of that for you.
Can I add something in
Anything
there?
to say about eating calories or metabolism or anything like that? Alan, go. Go, Alan.
So we had a question from a woman in the groups who says she's 6'3" and built like a female linebacker. You should not eat at 1600. That's probably too low for you.
Yeah.
You need to start at a higher level, probably somewhere around 2000 to 2100 would be a better place for you to start.
Yeah.
You know, and then you can just make adjustments from there, as Lance had described. If you're a dude and you're 6'4" and 225, you know, you're probably looking closer to 2,500 calories a day or 2,600 a day.
Yeah. And you know, another thing that you can do, you know, one thing we always preach to you guys is this is not a sprint. We don't want this to be over for you at 90 days. We want you to be able to do this long term, like all of us have. So don't think of it as I've got to get this right out of the gate. It's going to take you a little bit. And if you're somebody who is, you know, out of the norm for most people, so if you're a female and you're 6'3", you know, something good for you might be just eat normal for a week. Log everything that you eat normally, and determine what your maintenance, what that baseline is for you. Your baseline might be 2,600 calories, you know, and if that's the case, then you cut back from that baseline if you're trying to lose fat and lose weight. So everybody's going to have a different baseline, and if you're not sure, you know, if you're not built like the average person, you can go ahead and track it for a week and just eat everything like you normally would. Don't leave anything off. If you're eating 5 Snickers a day, go ahead and log those just so you know what your calories are on average every day, and then we can cut back from your baseline.
Hey, Lance.
Yeah.
Real quick, I would just add too that these calorie levels are set like figuring that you guys are only doing one workout a day, and burning 350 to 500 calories for women, and 500 to 600 for men. If you guys start doing multiple workouts and trying to burn more calories, you're going to end up in the same boat as if you were eating only 500 calories a day. So it's not doing more workouts isn't going to help. You can have an awesome transformation doing one 30-minute to an hour workout depending on what program that you picked. Like, you can still do awesome with that. The trick is hitting the sweet spot of your calorie deficit, and that's, for most people, that's usually around 500 calories a day at a deficit. If you overshoot that, you're going to end up in a bad place, just like if you were eating way too little. So
yeah, it's a great point. You do not need, I lost all my weight doing one workout every day. Worked out 45 minutes to an hour a day. Everybody on our team's done that. I really appreciate the enthusiasm of somebody wanting to work out, 2-3 times a day, but you're going to get burnout. You're going to injure yourself. You're going to affect your cortisol levels. It's just counterproductive. So really, eat healthy. If you eat healthy, you have your nutrition locked in, you only need that one workout a day, 5 to 6 days a week. That'll do it. Focus all that other attention on eating right. And you're going to save yourself in the long run. Because if you guys get hurt, it's a lot harder. It's still possible, but it's a lot harder to get results. So we want to keep you guys healthy. Okay. So then the last part of that. So we've got the guys, we've got the females. The last part of that is, so that was person 1 that eats a lot. Person 2 is at, eating 600-800 calories a day for females, 1,000, even 1,200 calories a day. I never recommend my female clients, I never start them off this low, but if they're already at 1,200 calories a day and they're working out 5 to 6 days a week and they aren't losing weight, then they have metabolic damage and we need to reverse that. If you're somebody that has that problem, let me know, or let Alan or Larry or Steve know. We can help you guys. Your road's going to be a little bit longer, but I promise you can reverse it. We basically, what we have to do is slowly add carbs and calories to your diet, and your metabolism will start speeding up. I've done it myself. I've had clients that have done it. It actually works. So it just takes a little while. If you're a guy and you're at 1,800 calories and you're working out 5 to 6 days a week and you're not losing weight, again, it depends on your size, but if you're at 1,800 calories, not losing weight, not seeing progress, you might be somebody that has metabolic damage, and we need to start adding calories and carbs back into your diet really slowly over time. So just to give you guys a quick story, I kind of went over it, but didn't touch on it a lot. So when I lost my weight, my maintenance level was at 2,200 calories, and then Beachbody called and said, "We want you to film for the P90X infomercial." And I thought, oh my God, I got to be in front of people with my shirt off on camera. I've got to lose as much weight as possible. So I cut my calories to 1,600. I didn't know what metabolic damage was. I just knew lower my calories, lose more weight. So I lowered my calories to 1,600. I lost weight, and that's when I got down to 192 pounds. But what will happen when you drop those calories and you're at a severe caloric deficit and you're trying to work out every day, you're probably going to get injured, and that's what I did. I hurt my shoulder. So after I hurt my shoulder, I couldn't work out for 3 weeks. So I did the Beachbody Ultimate Reset, which is like a real healthy cleanse thing. It's not a cleanse, but it kind of is. My calories went down to 1,200 based on that program, which is just a horrible thing that I did. But my calories went down, and then my shoulder got better, and then because there was no working out during those 3 weeks, so my shoulder got better, and Body Beast had came out. So I got Body Beast, and I went right into Body Beast, and Body Beast, they recommended my calories be at 2,700, but I didn't go to 2,700. I thought, well, I'll just go to my old maintenance level of 2,200 and see how it goes. The problem was I lowered my metabolism because my body's trying to survive and function and not ruin itself. So my metabolism slowed down, and I started eating at my old maintenance level, but now since my metabolism was slowed down, I started adding a lot of weight. And I couldn't figure out why. I was adding a lot of weight, and I was at 2,200 calories. It was a horrible thing. So I eventually had to lower my calories back down, and for the last year, I have worked on slowly increasing my calories. And it's been a long road, and that's why I told you guys, without support system from some of my friends, it would have been really hard. But I've slowly been able to get my calories back up. Now I'm eating 2,400 calories, and I'm not gaining weight. So actually, the first 3 days I was on 2,400 calories, my weight went up 2 pounds, but it just went back down a pound. So that's how closely I track it. But I think I'm fine at 2,400. We'll see. I'm going to keep it there for 3 weeks. So that's what we'll have to do for you guys that are, bottomed out, as I call it. If you're bottomed out, if you're a guy at 1,800 working out 5 to 6 days a week, if you're a female at 1,200 working out 5 to 6 days a week, you're eating really good, but you're not losing weight, we need to reverse diet use. Some of you are going to hit that, category, some aren't. Then I've had other clients I had a client in particular that was at 800 calories a day. She almost threw up just stretching for her first workout because she had no calories and no energy. And I just put her at 1,400, and I said, throw away the scale, don't touch it, don't look at it. 2 weeks later, she came back and she had lost 2 pounds on 1,400 a day, and she couldn't believe it. So, everybody's going to be a little bit different, and we're just going to have to, you guys, it's not black and white for a lot of you. It's not as easy as just saying, well, the book says your BMR should be this, we're going to take away this many calories and you're going to lose weight. It's not always that simple. So, All right, where are we going? Oh my gosh, this is the longest call in history. I think that's all I got. Wait a second. I know I have something else. Don't skip rest days. Small groups. We already went over small groups. And accountability partners. You know, a good thing is having an accountability partner. Just if you click with somebody, send them a message, say, hey, if you notice me falling off and not posting, you know, please send me a message and see how I'm doing. A lot of your coaches are probably going to do that, but yeah, accountability partners are great. Did any of you guys have anything else to add? I'm sorry, I don't want to go too long on this call, even though we've already went.
I have one thing to throw in for calorie levels.
Okay, sure.
If you're going along and you're cruising along at whatever calorie level you're at and you're losing weight fine, eventually as you get more fit and you lose a decent amount of weight, you may plateau, and it's going to freak your brain out. It did me, I know. It did Lance too when it happened. That one way that you can break that plateau is actually increasing your calories and carbs. As you get more fit, your body needs more fuel. I was cruising along, losing a lot of weight at 1,800 calories a day at the 50-30-20 macros on Fat Shredder, and when I got down into the, I think, mid-170s, I got stuck for a few weeks, and I ended up bumping my calories up to 2,000 a day and going to 40-40-20, so not only just adding, but throwing in more carbs, and I started again losing 1 to 2 pounds a week. So, you know, that is a viable option.
Yeah, and that works for a lot of people. What'd you say, Alan? You cut out. Sorry.
Freak you out. Like, oh, I need to keep losing weight more.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, sometimes that happens when you start eating more. You start building more muscle mass, and you start, you know, your body has to burn more calories the more muscle you have. So I think that's why a lot of people find that works. And you just start having more energy. You can bring it harder in your workouts, and I've noticed that since I've been at 2,400. I mean, I'm lifting heavier. I have a lot more energy, and it's pretty crazy. All right, so anybody else have anything?
Yeah, Lance, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just real quick, the one thing that I would add is just plug in. Plug into the groups, you know, like you mentioned, accountability partners. Plug in, post that, you know, today sucked, today was great. Congratulate somebody on their post. You don't even have to start your own post in the group. But just plug into the group. We've seen it. I mean, we've been doing these groups for almost 3 years now. And outside of, I was thinking about it earlier today, outside of Adam Smith, the guy lost like 70 pounds in one of our challenge groups and never posted anything. But outside of him, I mean, every time you see people that have results, it's, you know, I don't want to say it's because they plugged in, but it's not just a coincidence that the people who we see have the transformations that they do. That's not a coincidence. It's because they're plugging in. It's because they're holding themselves accountable by being there every day. And, you know, we don't expect you to nail every workout. We don't expect you to be perfect on the nutrition, because none of us in the group are. And that's what's great about the group, is that you know, you realize that you're not walking alone, and when you do mess up, you're not the only one that did. So it's so important to plug into the group. So just make sure you do that.
Yeah. You'll never be, you know, ridiculed or you know, you'll never be looked down on if you have a bad day or didn't hit your nutritional goals, because we've all been there, and we all still have days like that. I mean, we're human, you know. You're not going to be perfect every day, but the goal is string a lot of good days together, so that you can offset that bad day when it happens, you know. and like Steve said, it is no coincidence that all these people you see at the bottom of the screen that had amazing results, I mean, we've became like family because we've talked to each other all the time for years now. We've plugged in, we've developed relationships. You know, I don't think there's any way if I started, you know, falling off the wagon and if I didn't post for a week, I mean, these guys wouldn't let that go by, right? And I wouldn't let it go by for any of them. So it'd be really weird. And you know, now it's just a part of life. I don't look at working out as actually I look at it as really fun, and I never thought I'd be that. I look at eating healthy, you know, most of the time it kind of excites me now because I know I'm fueling my body and I can see changes, and it's just fun. I feel really, I know we all do, we feel really blessed that, number one, I just feel blessed that social media exists, because without social media we couldn't do this and it wouldn't be the same. But I feel blessed that we get to wake up every day, get on Facebook, and encourage people to work out and get healthy for their families. That's the coolest thing ever. There's nothing cooler than that. And then people just live great, happy lives. It's the coolest thing. So that's where we want to get all of you guys to. But you know, if you kind of hide in the background and you don't ever put yourself out there and say anything in the groups, then you're missing the whole point. And we don't want that. We really want you engaged.
Yeah, I'd like to second that. My two biggest regrets when it comes to the group is and my weight loss is that first of all, I did not take at the very beginning before pictures. And as Greg and I have looked through pictures, we actually got rid of a lot of pictures because we didn't like how we looked in them. And that's, you know, now to see our transformations, it's kind of a bummer that we don't have true before pictures that we took. So that's one regret. And the second one is that the first group that I was a part of, I really kind of ghosted a lot, and I didn't post, and I didn't get the full benefit of the group. And in order to get the full benefit of the group, you need to be active in the group. Build relationships. I agree with you totally. I mean, this group is my fitness family, and it's a cool thing.
Yeah, it really is. All right, so I'm just looking through some of these questions, and I see Zach said, I'm on a very low income, can't afford a lot of foods regularly, really can't afford supplements either. What can I do? All the foods that are cheap are the worst for you. Does anyone want to tackle that? If not, I can. But, anybody want to tackle it? No? So, you know, I think you can make it work, Zach. I really do. You don't have to. You can get results without supplements. Number one. You know, if you eat whole foods, you're going to be fine. We say this all the time, but you know, I think most supplements are marketing hype, and for the bodybuilder that's trying to get from like 6% to 4% body fat, yeah, some of those things he might be able to tell a difference in, but a lot of the supplements out there are marketing hype, and you're going to notice about that much difference, if any. So, you know, I think you're fine with whole foods. As far as them being expensive, you know, I don't feel like I spend any more on food now than I did before. I mean, dang, I can get 2 bags of sweet potatoes for like $2. I don't know. There's, you know, you can find ways around it. You just gotta make it work. I don't think that's a limiting factor, though. I don't think that it's that much more expensive to eat healthy.
I say
you can do it.
Post, but farmers markets are awesome, and rice and beans. You know, that's a staple in most cultures.
Yeah.
And it's just super good for you.
Yeah.
And if you pay attention, if you pay attention, you can find chicken everywhere for under $2 a pound, and I can find 100 ways to make it taste good if you ask me.
Yeah, I'm do that. I get chicken breasts for $2 a pound. Make little chicken wings out of them. Bake them in the oven. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lindsay's telling me to jump in on this one too. I guess.
Crack the whip, Lindsay. Crack the whip.
Yeah, she's cracking a whip on me. I guess I would say one, like, kind of going the big scheme of things, don't make it more complicated than you have to. Consistent exercise and consistently work on nutrition. That's all you need. Supplements can help, but I wouldn't even worry about supplements until you can get number 1 and number 2 worked out and get it down pat. With the nutrition thing and food, I had one of my best transformations on my team, Donovan. He was stationed in Afghanistan.
I was actually going to bring that up.
Yeah. He wasn't in the military. He was working as a contractor over there. So he was at mercy at whatever they had left in the mess hall. They ran out of lettuce for weeks at a time. They were getting, fried shrimp batches, and he would literally peel off all the breading to eat it. And he dropped like 35 pounds in a round, and he looked amazing. So
He ate lots of tuna.
yeah, he ate tuna fish. I mean, that's like all the guy ate. We ended up sending him like a care package. So he did have Shakeology for, like 30 days. But he lived off tuna and salad for a while. And I mean, he was eating a lot of tuna. He wasn't eating 800 calories. He was seriously trying to eat, 2,000, 2,200 calories a day with whatever he could get his hands on. So, that's one of the things that I look back on. It's like, man, he probably had one of the most difficult nutritional difficulties to overcome, and he made it work. I wish I would have had footage of when he came home and his wife saw him, because that was his whole reason. He was over there without his kids and his wife, and he said, I don't have anything to do here outside of work, so I just want to look as good as I can for when I come back home. And I talked to that guy like every day for 90 days, and it was amazing.
Yeah, that was really cool. It was really cool to watch him go through that. Talk about making no excuses, man. He had no excuses.
Yeah, he would show up to work out, and it was on some kind of base or whatever, and the military personnel wouldn't even be there yet. And he would be pissed off because he would be there, they're supposed to be there at like 4 a.m., and he's getting there, and they wouldn't show up till like 4:10. He's like, guys, you got to be here at 4. I only have like an hour to get this done. So it was, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a friend that also he works in the oil rigs, and would have to work through the night, and he posted a video of him and his it was awesome, of him and his steel-toed work boots, had his coveralls on, had his bands to the front of his work truck and 2 big spotlights up. And he did a video of him doing P90X chest and back with his bands out in the oil field. And it's pitch dark out. It's like 2 in the morning. So, that's why I said no excuses, because I mean, every excuse that's been thrown at me, we've got people that have somehow overcame them. Just your why has got to be strong enough. Your reason to want to get healthy has got to be strong enough. What was that? We were at Summit, Larry, and they did they had a great analogy about a burning building with a bridge.
Oh yeah, like it was kind of like, okay, I have this ladder. It's a foot above the ground. I'll pay you $20 to walk across this ladder. Who wouldn't do it? Like, yeah, I would do that. And then okay, now we're going to put this ladder across 2 buildings that are, 20 stories up in the air. And it's like, I'll give you $20 to walk across this ladder. And you're like, no, I'm not going to do that. I could die. And then they said, okay, well, guess what? Now, think of it this way: one of your kids is in the other building, and the building's on fire. Are you going to do it? Yeah, you're going to do it. And the difference is, the reason for doing it is enough at that point. And it's just that easy. Is $20 worth it? No, but like your livelihood, of course it is. And I think that's where a lot of people get lost, is like they don't think about like all the little things they do every day that kind of put you in this downward spiral. Kind of like the compound effect in Darren Hardy. Like how many people smoke, and is one cigarette going to kill you? No, but people are smoking multiple cigarettes for years, and like it's not the single cigarette that does it. It's doing it day after day after day after day for years and years and years that eventually catch up to you. And it's the same way with poor food choices and being inactive. It's not one day or 1 week of being inactive or making bad food choices. It's when you're doing it daily. That's when you start down the downward spiral. And so if you can, consciously think about it that way and say, hey, okay, I'm going to cut out soda. And you cut out soda. Okay, well, you're not going to see a big difference in a week. You may not see a big difference in a month, but say you've cut out soda for 6 months to a year, you're going to see a huge difference. And, it's those small incremental changes that will add up over time that can, like, change your life so dramatically. And, I will say that, like, I'm not real big on personal development and motivational speakers, but some of the stuff that Beachbody kind of like puts out there for people to read and to take part in, stuff's really good. And the Compound Effect is just one of those books that like it really makes you see like, oh yeah, like like these little things that I'm doing don't seem like a lot right now, but down the road it's going to make a huge difference. So.
Yep. Yep, and you just, like I keep saying, you just have to have a big enough why, and you have to focus on that all the time. And for a lot of us, it's it was just getting healthy for our family, getting healthy for our kids, and being around for them as long as we're allowed to be around for them. There's some things that are out of our control, but the one thing that is in your guys' control is getting off your butts and not putting a bunch of crap in your mouth. That is in our control. We have control over that. Yeah, it's hard, but the only one making a decision to not get off the couch or to put bad stuff in your mouth is you. That's it. So, if you can take heart problems and high blood pressure and diabetes and all that stuff out of the equation to be around for your wife and kids, why wouldn't you do it? It's such a small investment, 30 minutes to 60 minutes a day. What do they say? 2% of your day, and eating right 85% of the time, and you're there. Now, is eating 85% of the time going to get you to 10% body fat? No, but eating right 85% of the time is certainly going to get you healthy enough to live a long life. So it's just whatever your goals are. And, if you just want to be healthier for your wife and kids, I mean, there's no excuse not to be. Our system works. The calorie goals we put you on, eating whole foods, and working out 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, guaranteed to work. Promise. So that's all I got. Anybody else have anything else?
Lance, can I get a turn?
Absolutely, man. What's up, buddy?
Good. Hey, I just wanted to add on what Larry said, because he was mentioning all these things, 90 days and the compound effect. But I was listening to Brian Tracy, and he talked about building this neurological path in your brain over time. And his example was when you get in a car, when you first started driving a stick shift or even a regular car, I mean, you had to go, okay, how do I put the key in and where do I put in the drive? You know, I mean, you were like clueless. But then over time, you can do, you know, if you look at yourself now, you don't even think about it. You just go in, turn the key, you're gone, you're talking on the phone, you're Bluetoothing, you're doing whatever. And he said if you apply that to other things in your life, you know, like fitness, you know, it's just going to be a thing. And I think with the challenge group, like Steve was saying, if you get in there and you do it every day, it's just going to be like getting in a car. Yeah, it'll suck some days, but most part, if you burn that neurological path, just like you have for driving a car, it can be the same principle for doing your workout. It just, hey, I'm going to go do my workout today. I'm going to go post and say, yeah, I sucked or I crushed it or whatever. And then over time, you'll just be like Larry was saying, 90 days, this guy in Afghanistan now has lost all this weight. But it takes that like initial 21 days to really, and I'm not throwing the 21-day fix out, but he said it's about 21 days that if you stick consistently with it, it just starts to become this habit, and it just happens. And I don't know what it is, but it's something I thought was very interesting because, I mean, here we talked about this almost a year ago of just doing workouts, and it's come like I want to work out now. I don't want to be, you know, I'm worried about flying an airplane, but it's like I'm trying to figure out, okay, should I get up super early and fly or work out or go do it after my flight? It's just comes part of my, you know, habit pattern or my daily life now. It's not like, you know, I don't want to do it. It's not a question now. I just do it. Just like you get in the car and you just drive off. You just do it. So there's my 2 cents on your personal development, Larry.
I hadn't heard that, Tony. That's great. Yeah, that's. I mean, that's just what it is. So be careful. Be careful. If you're in here all the time, you might get addicted to working out and eating healthy, right?
Yeah, you can.
Definitely can.
Yeah, there could be worse things, guys. So, well, that's all I've got. Unless one more chance. Anybody else have anything else?
Time for one question.
What?
We got one more question.
All right. What is it?
Well, Larry, there was a question about half marathon training. I tagged you in a post right underneath it, so look at that.
Okay.
Another question is, I find it hard to eat legumes for protein in their diet. They're abundant and cheap, but they're just higher in carbs. If they're on fat shredder, how many legumes are okay?
You cut out for most of that. Why don't you go ahead and answer it? I couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay. If you're finding the legumes are too many carbs to get your protein, you may just have to try to find either a different protein source, or you know, you may not need to go to 50% protein. I mean, if you can do 40%, that's fine. I mean, you have to look at a point where, you know, what's feasible for you in your situation. Maybe 50% is not feasible, and that's just fine. You can certainly lose weight not at 50%. 40 works great. I've been doing it for quite a while now. But plus, if you have more carbs, you know, if that works for you, then you'll have more energy in your workouts. You can bring it harder, and you get a better burn.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and always we always kind of go with calories being your number 1 goal, macros your number 2 goal. So, like Alan said, if you're at 40, you know, 35% protein, well, I'm sure you're going to be fine. You know, it's one of those things. If I'd rather you eat as many carbs as possible and lose weight. If you're eating more carbs and you're losing weight, then great. But if you're somebody that's not losing weight, you just need to back your carbs off. Just don't eliminate them. That's about the worst thing you can do is Atkins diet, or you know, one of those types of diets where you're eliminating carbs. So okay, well, hey, great call. How long was this? Hour and a half?
Hour and a half.
That's a record. That's a record. But it was really good. It was a really good call. We still have 15 people watching, so that's good. That's amazing. Those 15, I'm sure, will have the best results. No, Yeah. Hopefully everybody will take the time to watch it, because there was, I mean, that was probably one of our better calls. There was a lot of good information in there. It was just over a long period of time. There's so much to give you guys. There's no way to pack it in real quick for a 30-minute call. So we'll do these calls every week, and so keep thinking of your questions. If you need nutritional help, one of us coaches will host a call every week for this challenge for the next 90 days.
An hour and a half.
They won't be an hour and a half. Yeah, they'll be. You know, I try to keep them. I try to keep them at 30 minutes. I'm mostly unsuccessful at doing that, but yeah, we'll try to keep them to 30 minutes, and we'll do them every week. And so if you have questions, just let us know. Reach out to us. That all we want to do is see you guys succeed and give you as many tools to do that. So that's it. Have a great night. Welcome to the Summer Slim Down Challenge Phase 2. It's going to be a crazy 90 days, but I'm glad you guys are with us. Thanks to all the coaches that joined us tonight. All right, later, guys.